Hey there, it's Michael here with a video that I wish I had a decade ago. Because I'm gonna be sharing with you 8 things that I wish I could go back in time for to tell my 18-year-old self. Because the truth is that I wasted almost a decade of my life. Just wasting time because I wasn't the person that I needed to be. I was not capable. I was not disciplined. I was not the person I needed to be in order to reach my goals. So I don't care whether you're 18 right now, maybe even younger than that, maybe even older. I don't care where you're at. Everyone can benefit from making these things part of their life. And so let's dive right into it. And if you like this, go ahead, give it a quick thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. So the first thing I would tell myself is to be patient. Because here's the thing, in my life, I have tried multiple things. Back when I was like 17, 18, I went into blogging as well as network marketing. I realized in hindsight that I was on the right track there, but I lacked the patience. And so I would give up after like 6 months. Whereas if I stuck with it for maybe 2 years, I am fairly certain it would have been successful and it would have made me my first 6-figure a year income by like age 20, right? But I gave up on that because I didn't see progress soon enough. And that's the thing with a lot of things. So for example, with a lot of things, it's gonna go like this and you're basically gonna look like you're stagnant and then things take off. That's how a lot of things work. It's that hockey stick effect if you look at it on a graph. But people expect things to be like this, myself included. And so if I could go back, I would tell myself, you know what? You will achieve your goals if you're working diligently, if you're disciplined, if you're consistent, and you allow 1 to 3 more years than you expected to take, than you wanted to take, in order to reach that goal. If I had done that, it would have made a tremendous impact on my life. So the second thing here is the following, and that is to value my opinion over that of everyone else. Because back in the days, I was insecure. I felt like a lack in myself. I felt like I was unworthy. And so because of that, I looked for approval. I looked for the opinions of other people and I valued those over myself. So maybe you've been in the experience where your parents or your friends tell you, hey, maybe you should go and be a doctor. Maybe you should be a lawyer. Oh yeah, just go to college and study this, that or the other thing. But what is it that you truly want? Because guess what? Nobody else is you, right? I mean, it sounds cliche. It sounds so stupid when I say it like that. But how many times do we let the opinions of other people dictate our course of action? And so I would like to share with myself in those moments that, you know what? It is my opinion that matters above all, right? It's my life. Nobody knows me like I know myself. Just like nobody knows you like you know yourself. And that self-awareness is such a crucial element of any kind of decision making. And so if your life's decisions, especially the big ones, are predicated on what other people have told you, then you're on the wrong track there. Like you're not living for the opinions and the approval of other people. It's your fucking life. Start living like it and start valuing your own opinion over that of other people. That's my advice to myself and that's my advice to you as well. So the third thing is discipline. Because here's the thing, back in my days when I was like in my teens and early 20s, I didn't have a damn clue what the concept of discipline really meant. I had none of it, zero, zilch, nada, absolutely nothing. And so for me, what it would be is I would watch a video like you're watching right now. I would be like, yes, I would get myself fired up, right? And then afterwards, I would just take action for like a week or two, maybe a month or two at max, and then I would just decline. Once that initial burst of motivation had run out, I had run out. I would burn out, I would stop, I would quit. I would only put in this amount of effort, whereas this would be the amount required. And I would never actually achieve any of my goals as a result of that attitude. And so I only learned what it truly means to be disciplined in my mid-20s, when I was like 26, 27, something like that. I wish I could go back to myself when I was 18, or maybe even 15, 14, right? If I had learned then what it means to truly work hard for something, to truly be disciplined, my life right now would be completely different. I would be years ahead of where I am today. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're older, maybe you have kids or you're thinking about it, raise them from an early age to work hard for what they want. So for example, if they want a new PlayStation, right? Make them do chores to earn that money. And maybe you don't have them earn everything, but have them like do chores and give them like $1 for each chore they do around the house. And then have them make like 10% of that console. And then you can of course give them the rest. But teach them the value of working hard. Teach them that it pays off to be disciplined, to do what is necessary over what is easy, to teach them what it means to reach any goal, right? Without discipline, without consistency, without continuous effort in a guided direction, they will not achieve any of their life's ambitions. So if you care about yourself, if you care about the people you are closest to, if you care about your children or your future children, please lead by example of being disciplined and teach them the values of working hard, of putting in the effort, of doing the hard work, even when you don't necessarily feel like it, because that's what it really takes to get results at anything in life. I learned this lesson, in my opinion, way too late. And so don't be like that, right? If you are watching this when you're 15, great. Start holding yourself accountable to your own actions. Whether that means going to the gym multiple times a week, whether that means working on a blog, a YouTube, a side hustle, anything, right? Whatever it is that you have as a goal for yourself, start making that a priority. Set goals for what you want to do. Action-based goals. Of like, I'm going to go to the gym 4 times this week. Today, I am going to write 1 article. Today, I'm going to reach 30 pages of a book, right? Set those goals and make sure to keep that promise to yourself. And I know life is going to try to derail you. Life is going to be difficult. Acknowledge that and realize that no matter what happens, you still owe it to yourself to keep on going. So yes, you might get slapped in the fucking face by life. That's part of the journey. Those setbacks, those negative experiences are what allow us to move forward. It's like the boss in a video game, right? Before you can reach the next level of a dungeon or the next map of that video game, you need to first conquer the boss. You need to defeat them, and then the rest of the path forward opens up. That's what it is like for the setbacks in your life as well. So don't wish for a hard life. Wish for the discipline to endure the hardest path you can make for yourself, because that is the path that helps you to grow as a man, to grow into the person that you desire to be, to grow into the person who is capable of achieving their goals. And so discipline is one of the key elements that I would teach my 18-year-old self. The fourth thing then, and I shared a little bit about this, is that failure is a stepping stone of success. Because there have been many times in my life when I failed at something. And I took that because I was feeling shy and insecure. I was doubting myself. I took that failure as a sign that I was a failure. Instead of seeing it as a way of like, hey, this method, this path I tried to walk, that plan, that strategy was not sufficient. Either that or my skills weren't at the level that I needed them to be in order to succeed. Or number 3, I didn't have enough patience to follow this path for long enough. That's the message I should have taken from a lot of these failures. I took it as, you know what, this is not going to work. You should quit. So if you're like that, if you're like, you know what, I tried this thing maybe for like 2 months. Evaluate. Change your plans. Learn from the failures. Learn from the mistakes. Because a failure, a stumble, is not the opposite of success. It is not your red light to say, I should quit. It is your orange light to pause for a moment, to step back, to carefully evaluate. So this is where I went wrong. And then to adjust your course accordingly in order to continue on and to move towards that bigger goal that you have for yourself. And if you do that, you will come out on top. The next thing is a bit of stoicism. I wish I had that back in the day. Because again, like I shared before, I felt insecure. I felt like I was not good enough. And so whenever anything negative happened, I let it affect me emotionally. And that's okay, by the way. We have emotions for a reason. I'm not saying here that you should be a man all the time and just hide away your emotions. Quite the contrary, actually, but I'll get to that later. And before that, if you like this video so far, give it a quick thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, because I'm here to help you. I'm gonna be the person here that I wish I had a decade ago to guide me. That's the kind of mentor, the kind of guide that I want to be for you as well. And so what I mean by stoicism is this. It's okay to feel sad at times. It's okay to feel anxious, to feel depressed even. I've been there. I have been at a stage of contemplating suicide. That is perfectly fine. But on the other hand, if you want to move on, if you want to get the better of those emotions, if you want to move your life ahead, you cannot let those temporary emotions, those temporary states, dictate your actions. And what I mean by that is that even when you're feeling scared of something, when you know it is the right thing to do, you do it anyway. Whether you feel great or you feel terrible in the day. Because here's the thing, the longer you stay inactive, when you stay still, the anxiety, the depression, the negative feelings are gonna get worse and worse and worse. Because now you're sitting there like you're already feeling bad and now you're not taking action, even though you know what you're supposed to be doing, right? And now it's like you're feeling bad about feeling bad, and it's a negative cycle that continues downwards. It's a vicious spiral, and if you let it, it's gonna spiral out of control. And so you cannot let your emotions be the dictator for your actions. You've got to separate the two and to move ahead of the path that you know is right. And guess what? When you say you're gonna do one thing and you actually do it, you build that trust in yourself of like, you know what? When I tell myself I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna fucking do it, no matter what. When you have that trust in yourself, that is your confidence. And my confidence started growing and growing when I started doing that. And so that's a crucial element of change. And as a side effect, when you are on the right path, when you know that you're doing the right things, you will feel better and better about yourself. Not only because you actually make changes in your life that make your life better, but also because you now have a way out. If you are sitting in inaction, that anxiety, that depression, it starts to take over. And as soon as you have that haze in front of your eyes where you cannot see a way out, that's when it really hits you. When you are constantly moving forward, when you are that stoic who maybe feels depressed, who maybe feels sad, but takes action regardless, now you are leaving that behind you. You are moving forward and you are getting out of this. It's going to take a while. And there's other things you have to do, which I'm going to talk about next. But once you start on that path, things will get better. So the next thing here is the following. And that is, we all have the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves. We all have limiting beliefs. And so for me, because I was being bullied, and even some things from before that, because of all of the things that happened to me, for the longest time, I believed I was an absolute loser. I believed I wasn't worthy of success. I believed that I was just a piece of shit. And in order to really get ahead, we need to resolve the negative emotions and past experiences, the past trauma that we carry along with us. And so the way I like to give you a visual representation of this is by a heavy backpack, right? Imagine there's a backpack on your back with like 60 kilograms in it. It's gonna make it very hard for you to move ahead on your hike, right? But what if, bit by bit, you started to throw out the rocks that are inside of this backpack that are making it heavy? Now you go from 60 kilograms carrying with you to 55, to 50, to 40, to 30, to 20, right? And with every bit of baggage that you let go of, your journey forward is going to become easier and easier. And so I was in my mid-20s until I really discovered, oh, so that's the impact that this bullying made on me. That's what I truly believe about myself. And it takes a lot of inner work, of shadow work, as they call it, to really resolve those issues, basically. And so you can do this with a therapist. You can do this on your own as well. I have some content on this. You can just reach out to me and get a free coaching session where we dive deeper into your own psyche of what is holding you back. I am now at the point where I'm pretty good at discovering the underlying reasons for something. I am good at reading and listening through the lines to find out, oh, so that's the real thing that is holding you back. And so reach out to me if you want that call, absolutely free of charge. And whatever route you choose. By the way, go and look up Julian himself on YouTube, as well as Owen Cook. They have some great content on this topic of letting go from the past trauma, of letting go from limiting beliefs and really moving forward. And that is something I only started on when I was like 25, 26, 27, something like that. And most of my progress in personal development has been from those moments on, when I started letting go of that baggage, when I started emptying that backpack, so that my journey ahead is going to become lighter and lighter. And so that is one of the key elements that we have to go through. And again, you can do this with someone you trust. You can do this with a therapist. And even just talking about it with a friend can tremendously help you, as long as they can hold you accountable. If it's someone who's like sugarcoating everything, where it's like, oh yeah, no, and they just basically push it away, they don't allow you to really relive and evaluate the struggles, the past trauma, then it's not going to work. You need someone who you trust and who can help you process the information, the past experiences, and the trauma that is within you. The next thing here is the following. And that is when I was like 16, 17, 18 years old. I got myself a vision for where I wanted my life to end up. And I did some things to make that happen. Sorta. And what I mean when I say sorta is the following. Because again, for most of my time, maybe for years after that, what I did was I had this goal, this vision. And what I would do after school, I would come home and honestly, for the most part, I would still play video games. But for maybe like 1 or 2 hours a day, I would read blogs. I would watch YouTube videos. I would listen to some audios, right? And that's all I did. I was only in quote unquote learning mode. I was not taking action. And I say quote unquote learning mode because guess what? If you watch a video, if you read a book, if you read a blog, if you listen to a podcast, and you do not change your actions, and you do not upgrade your skills that you actually put into practice, you are not learning, my friend. And so I was confusing just watching content consumption, with progress. Those are absolutely not the same things. If you are watching a video like this and you're not taking notes and you're not changing things in your own life as a result of watching this, you are absolutely not learning. This is just another way of procrastinating for you. Let me tell you that. And this is basically just a slightly better version of Netflix. And you're still wasting your time if you do not change your behavior based on what you are watching. You might just as well watch some cat videos. That is the brutal and honest truth. And I wish someone had told me like, hey, you might think you're doing the right thing here, but really you are wasting your damn time. I wish someone had told me that way earlier. And then the final thing that I wanted to give myself is to learn to love the game, not just the outcome. And so right now, when I'm making these videos, when I'm trying to figure out how to market my channel, when I'm trying to build this as a business, right? I love playing this game of business and money as well. They are games to me right now. So think about it this way. There are people like Warren Buffett, for example. The guy has more billions to last himself for dozens of generations. His children's children's children will still be extremely wealthy. Why does he not retire? Even though he's in his 80s, I think, maybe in his 90s, right? Why doesn't he do it? And that is because he loves the game of building a business. He loves the game of finance. And so as you see things as a game, when you do that, you will put in way more work and it's going to be way more fun. Back in the day, I viewed running my blog, doing my side hustle as a chore. And because of that, it always felt like I was just grinding it out. It always felt like the hard, busy work. It never felt as something that I really wanted to do. I wanted the outcome that building that business would do for me instead of loving the journey. And so here's the thing. With every goal you set for yourself, there are multiple ways to go about achieving it. Find one where you love the process at least as much as you love the outcome. So maybe you hate going to the gym, but you love running, or you love swimming, or you love some other kind of exercise. that gets you the same result as going to the gym. Figure out what that is for you. And other than that, change your language around it. When you refer to it as I get to play this game versus I have to do this job, your entire perspective changes. Because here's the thing, I can ask you right now to look around you in the room where you are and to look for everything that is blue. And if you do that, if you look around you for everything that is blue, your eyes are not gonna fall on everything around you that is red. And now that I mentioned the color red, now suddenly, poof, you see everything around you and you spot everything around you that is red. Did your environment change? Absolutely not. But your focus changed. And so the way you look at things, the way you describe things, the way you think about things and you reason about it, that changes your perception. That changes your own reality. There is not one objective reality that we all see and experience. Two people can go through the exact same experience at the exact same time and experience it completely differently based on this thing. How you interpret the events that happen to you. So start interpreting your challenges as the ways to grow. Start interpreting the strategy and the game that you're playing, the journey ahead of you to reach your goals. Start saying that it is a game. Start looking at it as something fun, as something enjoyable, as something where you are playing against other people or even against yourself to be the best version of yourself, right? If you can right now do like 20 kilograms in lifting of a certain kind, try to get that to 25 and 30. Make it a game to see how high you can get those numbers. The more playful you can be about your goals, the more you can see it as a game, as a competition, as something that you will want to win, damn it, the better and the more fun it is going to be for you. And so with that said, those are 8 things I wish I knew when I was 18 or even before that. Those are the things I wish I could go back in time and teach myself. And so hopefully, if you have been watching this until this time, they have been helpful to you as well. If they are, all I ask is to hit that like button and to share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Share this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel because I'll be bringing you more content that's going to help you become your best self. So with that said, I'm Michael. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.